Hey everyone, it's the Shnakey back again with another video, and today I'm bringing you some UFC 3 content. And the purpose of today's video, I suppose, is to talk a little bit about the fight that everyone wants to see at heavyweight in boxing, and that is Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. Just showing you off Kimbo Slice there, which they recently added to the game, and just comparing him to the Kimbo Slice that I created there recently as well. So yeah, I said that the purpose of today's video is to kind of break down the fight and give my predictions on who I think is going to win, who I think is the better fighter. I do think it's going to be a competitive fight, but I suppose the idea was just to kind of do not a simulation really, but as you can see here, I pick Wilder over Joshua. And there's a reasoning behind that, not just picking him in the game, but I actually favour him to win the fight in general. Now, again, today's video is completely speculative. It's my opinion only. I'm not a professional boxing analyst, but I'm just going on what I know about boxing and my sort of interest in it. I thought I'd do it in UFC 3 because I only found this out recently that Fight Night Champion, which has recently become backwards compatible on Xbox One, they don't actually allow you to use the Gameface feature anymore. It's been shut down for that game. So I decided I'd bring it into into UFC 3 instead. I think I did a fairly good job here, both guys. Anthony Joshua doesn't look 100% from the side profile, but I found it actually very hard to get his face down whilst looking at it from the side. Now, please, a disclaimer at this point, and I'll put the disclaimer on the screen. I do not play this game religiously. I would fire up Fight Night Champion a lot more than I would UFC 3, so just bear that in mind. Oh, it seems like there's a monster truck or something driving past my house. Interesting. But yeah, so it's not something that I play on a regular basis, so just bear that in mind. And I'm not a pro at this game. I'm not like so you see some of these guys putting up videos in the daily of different fighters and playing online. This is just against the AI on a normal difficulty, so it's going to be very, very average gameplay at best. But as I said, breaking down the fight, both these guys bring lots of things to the table. Deontay Wilder brings insane power, while Anthony Joshua brings a really good general boxing skill set and decent heart and chin as well. Now, most recently we saw Deontay Wilder face off against Luis Ortiz, and I think, in my opinion, despite some people were bashing that performance, he actually showed that he had a lot of the tools that he would need to compete with someone like Joshua at the current heavyweight level there is out there. Joshua, in my opinion, looked a lot less impressive against Joseph Parker when they met. So, based on their most recent performances, kind of Wilder won me around. I actually had favoured Luis Ortiz to win that fight, and he did cause Wilder a good bit of trouble there early on, but Wilder's extreme athleticism kicked in as time went on, and also his knockout power. And I think knockout power is the thing, or the sort of theme that I want to look at when I'm talking about this fight. Deontay Wilder is a deadly puncher at every point of a fight, from round 1 obviously all the way through to round 12 in the championship rounds. He brings power that can knock people out at any stage in the fight, and this is something that I think Joshua will need to be very, very wary of. Joshua is a better boxing fundamentalist, no doubt at all. Oh, fuck's sake. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I have to deal with a fly-related problem in my house. I'll be back. So the fly has left the building, ladies and gentlemen, or otherwise I made him leave the building by opening a window. But anyways, back to the topic at hand here, Wilder versus Joshua. So as I was saying, Wilder's power is going to be the defining factor in this. Now, I'm not saying that Joshua is not a heavy hitter. He's a big guy and he possesses a big punch. He's definitely, probably I would rank him as the second heaviest hitter in the division at the moment. And he's a big built guy as well. He carries a lot of muscle. Now, this has been a problem for him in the past in terms of his stamina. People like to argue that he can go the 12 rounds. Yes, he can, but how comfortably can he do it against a guy as athletic as Deontay Wilder? And if Deontay Wilder wants to set a fast pace, how is Joshua going to keep up with this in the later rounds? Now, where can Joshua capitalise in this fight, or where can he sort of use his skills to make sure the fight goes to where he wants it to go? I suppose keeping Wilder at range and boxing him, not getting engaged in big brawls, because even though both of them carry a big punch, it's going to be Wilder winning out in those exchanges. So I think Joshua is best to go back to his boxing punching, if you want to call it that, become a boxer puncher again, and just go to his fundamentals and beat Wilder on points. He may wear him down and may take him out in the end, but I highly doubt that will happen, because as I said, Wilder has demonstrated that he has very good stamina, and you can see it in his build. He's an athletic guy. Anthony Joshua has got more experience against better opponents, and people have argued with me on this topic before, but it can't really be argued. Joshua has faced the better opposition, just about. He's fought Vladimir Klitschko. Now, again, we'll say the Vladimir Klitschko that he fought was probably not the best version of Vladimir Klitschko out there. He had got on in age, and he had already been beaten by Tyson Fury. So, again, that still counts for more than what Wilder has faced. I would probably categorize Luis Ortiz as the best opponent that Wilder has faced. And although Luis Ortiz may have caused Wilder problems 5 years ago, he probably wasn't going to put on the performance that a lot of people expected. Now, I still expected him to do well, but again, it was Wilder's freakish power and athleticism that came into play there. So I think in terms of, if we're looking at the fight from an experience point, definitely Joshua has that, and demonstrating that there with that little knockout on the taunt. Never get cheeky, protect yourself at all times. Joshua takes it in terms of experience and boxing, pure boxing skill, and his sort of the way he handles himself in the ring. You know, he fights like a boxer. Wilder takes it on power, he takes it on stamina. So those are, I suppose, two different angles that you can come at this from. Which one will win out in the end is the question. And I suppose I have to give that, if I was to, say which fighter was going to win and make a prediction, I would have to give it to Wilder. Yes, he hasn't been tested as much, but I just think that his power is going to come into play at some stage in the fight. Joshua may be winning on points. Joshua may even have managed to hurt Wilder early on in the third or the fourth round, but I see Wilder composing himself, getting back to the body and wearing Joshua down in the later rounds. That's what I see happening. And again, a lot of people will disagree with me on that, but I'm a firm believer that the guy with the heavier punch in heavyweight boxing always has a chance, and if you combine that with very good athleticism, it's basically a recipe for a knockout late on in the fight. So I would be giving this fight to Wilder, and people would probably be surprised by that. Me coming from Ireland and with the UK being right beside us, you would think that I would be favouring Joshua. And to be honest with you, roll back the clock a few years, I probably would have favoured Joshua too, but the more I see of Wilder as time goes on, and the more that I see he's able to knock guys out from all different types of angles and with those big wide looping punches that, even though look very ineffective, have been shown to be effective, I have to switch my sides now and give this to Wilder. Joshua's a good heavyweight, he will do well, and I don't see this fight happening until next year. Joshua is set to fight Alexander Povetkin next, as far as I know, so that fight has to go ahead, and after that happens, then we all hope that the big fight in Wembley Stadium in England is going to be against Deontay Wilder, and I think it's going to bring in big money. It's going to set both of these guys up to become household names. And although we're definitely not back to the golden era of boxing, and probably never will be, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, Riddick Bowe, we're not probably ever going to get back to that stage of boxing again. The sport is still on a decline. These guys are doing a good job, though, reinvigorating it and bringing fans back into it. So that's my prediction, guys. As you can see, knockout Joshua there with Wilder. To be honest, it actually looks a bit like John Jones there from that angle. But yeah, as I said, this is a prediction video. It's my prediction. I'm not a boxing analyst. And hey, maybe Joshua's boxing skill and his experience will win out actually when they do fight next year, or maybe even this year. Who knows what's going to happen. But at the moment, I see Wilder with a late knockout, maybe in round 9 or 10. Basically when people least expect it, and when Joshua starts to tire a little bit. That's been the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed my models of Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. I just used images off Google Images to create them. If you go on there yourself, you'll probably be able to get similar results to me, and maybe you can make your skin tone even look a bit better than my Anthony Joshua, who looks like he's just spent an entire day in some sort of a fake tan salon. Hope you enjoy. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoy my content. I'm going to be trying to put out more videos soon. And as I always say, turn on the bell for notifications, because I don't even know when I'm going to upload my next video. They can be a little bit irregular, so it's good for you guys to have basically your finger on the pulse when I upload my next video. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.